What's going on, everybody? It's Icthelios here, and we are at Rock Post in Valencia, just before the Bastion's base, where we're actually going to be grinding out pretty much from 53 to 56, just knocking out these last few levels, and also pushing ourselves to where we can do our Succession and Awakening quest line, and also knocking out some region quests, get ourselves some materials. That way we can focus on pushing our Tuvala gear once we get to that point of full Tuvala. But what I want to go ahead and start off with is kind of just showing you the enhancements that I'm going to be making real quick for my armor, and basically my thought process and how I build my gear up going forward. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and start with our Naru gear, since we have 172 stones sitting here. So we're going to go ahead and just right click on that to bring up our spirit. We've got basically +4 right here from some attempts that we already failed from enhancing earlier. So what we're going to do is just bring the helmet over here. So we've got 70% chance of it going. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and skip animation just to make it go by faster. So basically, with this gear, we just keep tapping until it goes. So 45% goes, 40%, and it drops. So we'll go ahead and just... What we're going to do now is, with these items failing and us building up fail stacks, we're just going to kind of go down the line, see how we have a +5 from failing that helmet, and that's brought us up to a 60% chance for our gloves to go tet. So basically, the way the fail system or the enhancement system works in Black Desert is that when you enhance an item, it will either go up or it will go down depending on the threshold that it's at. For most gear, excluding Good or AI or God-eyed, which will be discussed much later, when you're enhancing an item at the enhancement level of Duo and beyond, it has a chance to either fail and go down a level, or it will succeed and go up a level. When an item fails, it will increase your enhancement chance, which is what this first piece is right here. If, as you build up the additional enhancement chances, your chance of success for the next time you click an item goes up. So you see how we failed the TED attempt for the helmet. It went down to Duo here, marked by the 2 bars. Now we're going to do a try attempt, and since we have a +5 now on this an additional enhancement chance, it's brought up our chances of this succeeding on this try to TED to 60%. So now with that additional chance, we're going to click, and now that's failed. So now we'll go ahead and try for our shoes. See, at a +10, we have a 73% chance of succeeding. And another thing to note is when you have this current chance down here, you see the added rate. This added rate is the rate of the +10 that is provided to our armor. So if we didn't have this +10, this would be at a base of 40% like it was when we tapped the helmet, or at least tried to. So now that's gone to TET. And like I explained in a previous video, how what I do is I just take these +10s that they give you for free. It gives you a 70, and you just finish out the armor just like that. And then you can see right here we got it to Tuvala. So we just hit the convert, and boom, that is another piece of armor done. So now what we'll do is we'll go back to focusing on these item pieces. So we've got 45% chance for this to go, and it fails. Now we'll try and push for the try on this, and it's gone. And so now we're just going to keep working on the helmet to try and bring that up. So it fails and then goes. All right, so we're currently out of stacks. Correction, we're currently out of just items to enhance that, which is fine. We got our boots taken care of, so now we only have 2 more armor pieces left. So now we'll just go ahead and put our boots on, put our gloves and our helmet back on, and this is still giving us more DP, so now we're just slightly higher. And now we can just go ahead and focus on our Naru talisman. We have 79 of these stones to get. We can just focus on pushing this up as well. And since we don't have any other items that we can exchange as this fails, basically what we're going to try and do here is just push this as high as we can. So now we're at pry, and then fail. And so basically sitting at pry, but we have a +7 now, so when we get more stones to push it up to Duo, we can go ahead and push it even higher. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Now we have slightly more AP, which is good. You know, the buffs. An increase in power is an increase in power. We're not trying to go at a breakneck pace here. We've actually made very good progress in a short period of time. As you can see right here, this account's only just under 9 hours, and we've already made some good progress going forward. So what we're going to do now is just head from Rock Post, make our way down to the Bastion base, and we're going to go ahead and just start doing the regional quests and grinding out that area. Alright, so we are just currently heading down to Bastion Base, running down the Pugia Canyon, it's one or the other. But we're going to actually run to a location that has a fairly simple rotation, and I will show the rotation as we run through it for the Bastions. Really quick, if there's nobody here, we'll do what I basically call it's like the ground rotation. But if there are people here, then we'll head up top and do this upper rotation. I personally prefer the upper rotation. I think it's a lot easier and a little more straightforward. But as of right now, there's some elites. Doesn't look like there's really anybody here, which would be good for us. It'll be easier for us to go ahead and power through this area. Right there's the node manager. We'll actually go ahead and stop and talk to him real quick. Alright, and have the pets just collect the loot.
We the Bastion warriors.
So this guy has a weekly. These are seasonal weeklies that we'll pick up, which we're not going to do the one for this area, but we'll come back at a later time to a different area and do the weekly quest, and the weekly quest will be for just right there getting a bunch of the time-filled stones or the ores, whichever that we're going to need. We're most likely going to go for the ores because getting time-filled stones is fairly easy, especially once I show the location where we will actually be grinding for those materials. Tuvala ore is definitely the more preferred option, but now that we've got him, just to have that for knowledge, we're going to head up to the rotation. And what we're going to do is, before we actually start pushing these last few levels, I'm just going to show a couple things in the loyalty shop that we can access. Alright, yeah, looks like there's someone here at this bottom area. So what we're going to do is basically just stay on the path this way, and we're going to just go up the hill over here, and that's going to take us to the upper level, and we'll do that rotation. Clear those. So in the loyalty shop, there are a myriad of items. The loyalty shop is a shop that all players have access to. It typically provides a lot of items for you to get that help you out through your progression, and also just some convenience and freebie items that Pearl Abyss gives away to help you out. There's several items that are definitely worth saving up for, especially if you plan on keeping this game as cost efficient as possible and not trying to spend any money. Alright, so what we're going to do is run up to here. You can run right up this little area. What I do is I just put my horse back here. And wait for them to come up. So, get rid of them. That's an elite. Hopefully it doesn't kill a horse. Alright. So, now what we'll do is just give our horse a carrot so that they're alright. Alright, that should be the last of them. So, before we start this grind, let's just go ahead and look over the loyalty shop. As a new player, there are a lot of things that are worth getting. In the current, as of right now, these Thayan orbs, these are worth getting if you can. They give you the opportunity to re-roll your fairy. This is for fairy skills, which we will deal with later, but you definitely want to get this for 100 loyalty. They recently just gave a buff to the fairies where they raised their level cap up to 50. It initially was 40, added another skill for the fairies that's very good, so it's definitely worth getting. These right here, the 530% scrolls, these are really big for leveling alts, but also we're going to be using these to help push us. So basically we have a limit to getting 53 of them. So we will purchase and then just click here on the quantity, set it to max for the 53, and then purchase. So now we have all of those. And there are other items in here that are worth getting as well. The 50 stack right here for 1,000 loyalties is a fairly good deal, but that'll be for when we get to enhancing. There's also this running out to the end of the year. They're giving away a premium outfit and a classic outfit. These are like the costumes we're wearing right now. These are definitely worth getting if you save up the loyalties for them. Having a premium outfit is really nice with all the benefits that it does provide you. And if you want a value pack for buying and selling items on the trading post, this is definitely invaluable to have, mainly because when you sell items on the marketplace, you get taxed at an additional rate as a free player instead of a player who has a value pack, which you can see if you look a few lines down, it'll say plus 30% silver collection on central market sales, excluding pearl items. And that's because pearl items will sell at full value if it is a pearl item that you buy. So if you buy a costume, say here with pearls, then you can sell this costume at full value. Whereas if you were to buy a costume off the market from another player and then turn around and sell it, you would still be taxed at the regular sales rate. So with that said, that's just a couple items that we're going to grab prior to starting. And then I also want to touch on maids real quick. This far along with our progression, we've gotten 2 maids. We have gotten one maid that is a storage maid, which we've picked, and we've gotten another maid, butler, that is for the transactions for the central market. So what this allows us to do is the maids, which have the little icon sitting right here, is it allows us to either access a remote storage, like here, this allows us to access the Valencia city storage because we're in Valencia, or if we have the central market, which we have, it is here, Ethan, we can access the central market remotely. So what this allows us to do, we'll give you an example. So say I want to buy a simple cron meal. Okay, so simple cron meal. They're currently going for 428,000 silver, so I have enough to go ahead and buy one. So we'll buy one. Now that we've bought that simple cron meal, if we go here to click sell and see our warehouse, we have the simple cron meal in our warehouse. So now what we can do is select our butler, hit open central market. We can now see the central market. Now, just so something to be aware of, whenever you pull this menu up, it does not actually use the butler or the storage maid. Their use doesn't get applied until you either add something to the storage here or you pull an item out. So we're going to pull this simple cron meal up. As you can see, it gives a lot of buffs, especially it's the primary food that you're going to use for a lot of your grinding content because it gives you combat EXP, a lot of AP versus monsters, increased attack and cast speed, as well as some bonus HP, and a higher chance to get knowledge, as well as weight. So we'll take this food, and now you'll see here that we have no transactions made remaining, and it goes on to a 20-minute timer. And the same will apply, like I said, when we pull up storage. So we can see the storage from our maid, and it also pulls up our horse storage since it's right beside us. But their use will not be applied until we actually move an item to and from there. So that pretty much sums up the maid system that we have right now, and just some things to look out for in the loyalty store as a new account. We've also gotten some login rewards, one of them being this combat box, which we're actually going to go ahead and use now. So what we're going to do is we'll get these item collection scrolls, which are basically loot scrolls. Next, we're going to get the combat EXP scrolls, and we're also going to take the beast draft, because the beast draft is one of the first drafts you're going to take for doing a lot of the grinding. The Verter drafts are primarily for life skilling, so those will be not of much use to us. So we'll go ahead and collect those. Alright, so we're going to just double up and touch on a few things real quick prior to getting started with grinding. So basically, you're going to want to get a few buffs prior to starting your initial grind. So food is definitely going to be the first thing. So the simple cron meal will be our go-to food. Drafts are another thing that will help us provide additional effects as well as help us with our grind. So for here, we'll be using the magical beast drafts that we have because they last for an hour, whereas normal drafts, such as right here, only last for 15 minutes. There's also temp buffs that we can get. However, since we do not have a premium temp, we won't be worrying about getting the buffs from that at this time. And we're also going to be using a 530 EXP scroll, as well as these 300% skill EXP scrolls to help us get some more EXP and skills as we go ahead and push these last 3 levels out. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and start popping our buffs and get this grind going. All right, and I will touch base with all of you once we have hit our goal. Alright, so this is just going to give just a quick look at the rotation that we're going to be doing for this area. So the horse sitting right up there. We're just going to move from pack to pack here. Alright, the pets, we're actually going to set them to... I'm going to actually change the temperament of the pets to push them a little further. And we've also hit 54, so let's actually collect this real quick. And then here, next step to personal growth. And let's keep going. So now we go on to this pack. And just to see the gear that we are using for this, currently 113 AP with 179 DP, but also we have additional AP from the Beast and Simple Cron meals. Alright. And so what I'll do from here is I'll actually push up to this area. There's some good packs up here to clear. Then we'll move up to here, hit this pack, and that puts us at 55 now. Then we will once we get to right here, what I'll do is go ahead and start turning down to go back towards where we started. So we will just go down here and attack these mobs. And once we've moved down to these packs, we basically have this pack and a couple more right over here, and we are back to where we started with our horse. It's very simple rotation, very straightforward, and basically what we'll be doing to finish up this level and then move on to 56 to hit our awakening, as well as get our succession, and then we will from here move on to other locations that will give us more materials for pushing our Tuvala gear. Alright, and with that, we have hit 56, and it only took about 15 minutes, and we can now start pushing into doing our Succession and Awakening quest. So, you now get that alert, Agris. What that is that we have now just gained access to the Agris system. The Agris system is basically a system that helps with grinding. It gives us more trash loot that we collect from enemies where we're grinding, and we get a certain value of Agris per day. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to toggle that off for now. We're actually going to use that at a later time. And also now that we have hit 56, as you can see, the mobs have all turned yellow on the minimap. We have now just gained access to the regional quests here. Since you're not technically going to come to Valencia this early. However, I do, and part of the reason why I actually come here versus other areas, say like Polly's, is because coming to the desert is good because, one, you want to familiarize yourself with this region, because with the current systems in place right now with the game, the desert has become a prime spot to grind once you have finished your seasons. So it definitely helps to be familiar with areas that you're going to be spending some time in, but also because there are plenty of region quests in areas that are within very close proximity of each other. So we have one for Worgen Nest here, a region quest. We have one here at Bastions. There's one at Nagas, which is going to be just north of Sangream Bazaar once we get to that point. And you're able to run from location to location and knock out regional quests to not only give you some more progression for your character levels, but also to help push you for the Tuvala gear and getting those types of materials. And then once we hit a certain gear threshold, we're going to actually go to a particular grind spot where we're going to finish getting the last of the materials we need and then completing our gear. And then once we have penned our Tuvala gear and got that taken care of, we're going to focus on completing the season pass. So we'll go ahead and finish up here. We'll collect our horse, get out of here, and then get ready to tackle our Succession and Awakening quests. So I will catch up with y'all once we are moving forward with that step. Alright, so we've gotten out of Bastions. We're sitting here at the Altanova entrance, about to start our Succession quest for Sage. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up by talking with the Black Spirit. The main quest, he'll have it right here called Eden's Letter, and he'll just want us to meet up with him in the Ancient Ruins excavation site here in Medaya. So benefit to having that is that we're nearby from grinding in Bastions. So we're going to go ahead and head that way. And just to do a quick gear update, we have hit pen on all of our Naru gear. So now we have full Tuvala, and we've already started pushing our weapons up. We're currently sitting on Tri Tuvala for the Kive, as well as Duo for the Talisman. We do have some stones left over, which we'll look at trying to push this up to try. However, we currently don't have anything outside of a plus 10 stack, so we may just push an armor piece up. And what we'll also look at doing is exchanging this Tuvala ore to start getting some accessories to exchange out and start pushing our AP up a little higher so that we can look at going to Crescents and also quickly running through Titium Valley. Titium Valley may become our grind spot as we push out another level or two, and that's just to get a few more skills once we finish up these quests. But that's where we're sitting right now, so we will catch up after finishing up the Sage class quests, getting our Succession and our Awakening, and once those are done, I'll go over just the different playstyles of each, and also explaining the systems that their purpose and what they can do, what you can do with them going forward. But once we have them done, just know that you can pick one right now, and you can eventually switch to another one at a later time, so these choices are not permanent, in case you're concerned or wondering. So I will go ahead and touch base once we get these quest chains knocked out. Alright, so we have completed our Succession and Awakening quest line, and we now have both specializations open to us. We are going to be sticking with the Succession specialization as we continue on through the rest of the seasonal journey and going forward. We may eventually switch out to Awakening. It will depend, as both specs did get buffed with this recent update, but we will just take it one step at a time. So as of right now, if you just press K to pull up your skill menu, you see how these are no longer locked. We have our Succession, and Succession now gives us access to Prime skills, which we will be picking all of those up as we can, as we keep leveling up. And then we also have Awakening available to us, which we would, if we choose Awakening, that'll give us access to the Awakening skill tree and allowing us to use our Cabelius. And some items that you should have gotten once you completed this quest line is going to be skill preset coupons. When you use the coupons, what they'll do is they will unlock these skill sets here. You can have up to a total of 5 per character, and you'll get your first 2 for free. So what you can do is, as you have a skill set up that you want to go for. That includes skill enhancements, which are basically these are additional skills that you will be able to use when you meet the prerequisite requirements. So as you can see right here, I can choose between Autor's Palm and Autor's Illusion. We're actually going to go ahead and get Autor's Palm. This is one of the strongest skills that we have for a Rabam, which is another name for these skill types. It's called the Rabam skills. This skill has very strong damage, has decent accuracy, hits for a total of 10 targets as most skills, but it also gives us another additional HP recovery skill and a DP debuff built into it, and it will KD PvE. So what we'll do is we're just going to go ahead and put that down in our quick slot, and we're looking at, we have 2 more skills that we can get. So the next one that we're going to get is Energized Thorn. This was another skill that was recently buffed, and it now has Forward Guard on it. So we'll be looking to pick up that skill later. And then once we have some more skill points for Gravity Rifts, we're going to be picking up Void Eruption. Void Eruption is a good skill to use in both kits because it's super armor, and it has 100% crit rate and has very solid damage, and also serves as an additional skill to recover mana with. So Void Blast is also another good option for PvE. It has good damage, has decent crit rate on it, and it also has good recovery as well. But for now, we're just going to stick with the Taurus Palm, and we currently have some skill add-ons, which we'll be looking to add more at a later time. But as of right now, we will be sticking with Succession. Succession mainly focuses on keeping at a distance and using skills along with our Rift Chain ability, which is one of our primary in and out of combat movement skills. So we'll be using a lot of that. And basically the goal going forward now is we're going to be grinding out the regions in each of the desert areas. So these quests right here. And we're also going to be stacking up as much of the seasonal material as we can. That way we can just have a large enhancing session to push our gear up. The goal is to eventually push our AP up to about 205. Once we push our main hand AP up to about 205, and we'll be bringing up the Awakening as well, we're actually going to change locations and go to a different spot out here called Mary's Cave. And that grind spot, once we get to it, is going to be the go-to place for finishing up our seasonal rewards. We will be able to get more than enough seasonal materials to finish out our gear, getting full gear, accessories, pen, as well as our weapons and armor. But with that said, what we're going to do is, now that we're here in Sangream Bazaar, we're going to want to go ahead and talk to this NPC right here, whose name is Botchlo. He'll have 2 quests for you. These are for 2 other mounts that you have available to you in the game, but you're going to want to go ahead and get this first one, your Desert Friend. And this is basically a quest to get a camel. So right here, we'll just click this little icon to track on it. So learn the pros of having a camel, and we're also going to learn how to get a camel. So we will go ahead and run through this quest really quick, get our camel. That way we have it for when we move out to Crescent Shrine and the Tidium Valley, and we start doing the region quest there, as well as doing more desert exploration. Alright, so we have just finished grinding Desert Nagas and got ourselves some time-filled Blackstones, so we're going to try and do some gear enhancing before moving forward. So with the time-filled stones that we've got, we're going to try and push either our sub-weapon to pen or the main hand to pen, which would be the optimal path, of course. And then we're also going to try and put some enhancement levels on our Awakening weapon. So now would be a good time to explain a bit of how the damage split works with your weapons and in your skills. So in Black Desert Online, both weapons have effects on your skill damage and your total efficacy when grinding. So 70% of your skill damage is going to come from the weapon of choice based on the kit that you are playing, and then the other 30% is going to come from the secondary weapon. So since we are playing a Succession Sage, 70% of the skill damage is going to come from the main hand, and then the other 30% will come from our Awakening. So the Awakening won't be as impactful, but it's still important that we level the Awakening weapon up. That way we get the most out of our equipment when grinding. Also, if you read here on the item effects, you'll see how it says extra damage to all species. So these effects apply to both weapon sets regardless of Awakening or Succession. And you will get these benefits across the board from all stats. For example, the sub-weapon gets an extra 33 monster AP benefit to us. That's, provided whether we are in main hand or awakening, we get that 33 monster AP bonus. So with that said, unfortunately we don't have a lot of stacks. We pretty much have no stacks. So in order to get stacks that we're going to use to enhance this gear, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to Fugar. Fugar has many quests that he provides us called the Even Harder Tuvala gear, and he has one quest for every single type that we have. So he'll have one for all of your armor pieces and for your weapons. So for now, we're just going to grab the weapons. And the requirement to completing these is to get the items to try level enhancement and then equipping them. So if you've already got your equipment up to try, all you need to do is unequip it and simply re-equip it, and it completes the quest. Then we talk with Fugar, and he will give us the stacks to enhance our gear going forward. So now we have 240 stacks, which will help us improve our gear. But what we're going to do is actually going to go ahead and start trying to enhance our Cabellius and push that up to try. So we will go ahead and do unequip that. We'll go ahead and unequip all of these. And what we'll do is select our time-filled stones. And let's see here. So we have a 22% at base with a +1. So we will just keep tapping on this till it goes. So we're up to 40 now. Alright. So now we're up to about a +20. Let's see how that sits with that. So that's about a 20% chance. That's not bad. It's not exactly good. We don't exactly want to tap that low because we can definitely get a bit higher. So now we've got a duo on the Cabellius and a 15% chance for it to go to try with no stacks. So let's see here. We do have some blackstones that we could use. So you can convert blackstones that sit in your inventory, which are sitting right here, just over where the mouse is sitting at. And in order to add those to give us an enhancement chance, we'll sit here and click additional enhancement chance, which it has these 3 selectors that pull up. So we have more armor stones than we have weapon stones. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and select these. And as you can see, the highest that we can put on here is a +25 using 53 of the 58 that we have. These values are at a set amount and they cannot be adjusted. So you can always do a 20 stack for 33 stones, 53 stones for a 25 stack, just so on and so forth. Ultimately, the cap is at 30 with 84 black stones. So what we'll do is we will use a 25 stack. That will give us an additional 37% chance, which will put us over 50% chance to get our try. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have our try Cabellius. Okay. And so what we'll do is we will equip that now, and we will talk with Fugar. And now we have all of our 40 stacks. And now what we're going to do is start trying to enhance our gear. So we'll start with our talisman, and we're going to use one of the 40 stacks. And alright, that failed. So now we're going to go for our main hand. Alright, that failed as well. So the next one to do will be the Awakening. And the Awakening went. So now we have a Tech Cabellius. Alright. And so now what we can do with that is we can now talk with Fugar and get the Awakening weapon. And we can go ahead and equip that. And now we have the stack for that for when we want to go for pen on our Cabellius. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and try and get a stack together to build these back up to try. And then we will be looking at going for Crescent Shrine and Tidium Valley and doing the regional quests here. This one right here will give us a duo ring once we complete that, and then Tidium Valley will give us a duo earring, which we can use to replace our accessories and then start building up from there. So we'll go ahead and do some more enhancing, see where we're at, and we will catch up when we start grinding at Crescent Shrine. Alright, so I know I said I'd do a quick update prior to hitting Crescents, but we decided to kind of push forward from Crescents and make a bit more progress. So we've actually had some good luck with our gear so far, using some of the stacks that we've gotten from the level up rewards that the game gives us for the new account, as well as the items that it's giving us. and we were able to go ahead and hit pen on our Cabelius as well. And we now have our talisman up to Tet, and we are currently doing the season pass to get this item right here, the Frozen Tides Blackstone, which guarantees an enhancement from Tet to pen that we're going to use to go ahead and get this weapon finished up, at which point we can just strictly focus on our armors and keep pushing up our defense. The goal for what we're going to do on this playthrough is just kind of keep pushing, eventually getting to where we can grind here at Pilaku. It's a nice secluded zone that is good money per hour with trash loot at 16.4k, and there's also some quests that we can do there. But what we're going to do now is just kind of focus on one of the next quests for the season pass, which we're going to kind of run through here real quick. This is going to be for the Fairy Mysterious Companion quest line. It actually starts with the Black Spirit. He gives you a quest to talk with the Fairy Queen Thea. Thea is located here, Kama Sylvia Temple, which you can see here by this little picture from the quest. And she'll just have you come out here to get some honey, which we'll have to use to make into cooking honey. So what you'll do is come here to the Delucci farm, and you're going to speak with Daphne Delucci. Just chat with her and rent a practice matchlock. Alright, and if you haven't rented anything using your contribution yet, you'll see here how your contribution is now down 2 points to let you know that you have a rental item. And if you hover over it, it'll even tell you current usage, note investment 1 from the rent item. So right here is the rental item. So now what we're going to do is just equip it. Let's see. There we go. Just had to store our weapon real quick. So once we have it equipped, you'll now see that you have the matchlock in your hands. Your character is going to do their nice little walking animation. So we're going to be looking for hives, which we have one right up here. So basically, to use the matchlock, you're going to hit right click to load it. You'll see an ammo counter just above your quick slot UI. So now that we have our ammo loaded 3 shots, we're just going to aim up when it turns red and left click. And there's our 3. So our pets went ahead and picked up the wild beehive. So we'll need to get a couple more to make the cooking line. There's one over there. Alright. That is another beehive. I believe we'll need about 4 of these to make the cooking honey. Let's see here. Got another one right here. Let's go ahead and get this, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grind down the beehives that we do have. Alright. So, now what we need to do is go ahead and grind the beehives that we do have. So select this and start grinding. Let's then equip our matchlock. Seems to be causing us some issues. There we go. Now we will go ahead and grind this down. Oh, we've got another hive right there. We'll see if this is enough. Alright, so 3 to 1. Alright. So that means we're going to need to get 3 more. Alright. So, oh wow, that gave us the last 3 that we needed right there. So now we'll put our gear back on. Just as a side note, whenever you're using a matchlock, if you have skins for your weapons, your main hand and your sub weapon, just right here, they also become unequipped whenever you equip the matchlock. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that there are no skins for the guns in this game, so just something to keep note of whenever you do use a matchlock. Just make sure you go back into your Pearl inventory and re-equip these skins, that way you get the set effect bonus. So now what we'll do is go ahead and grind this down. And that will give us the other cooking honey. And now we will go ahead and cut back to Kama Sylvia Temple and give Thea the cooking honey. Alright, so we're here at the Kamasilf Temple, and we're going to go ahead and speak with Thea now that we have our cooking honey. Just hit talk, hand her the cooking honey, and she will give us the special honey jar, and we will go ahead and pick up the next quest from her. So, place the honey jar at the unstable rift, which will be right over here. You'll notice it's this little glowing spot on the ground, so we're going to go ahead and pull this up, place the honey jar, and now we'll talk to Thea again. Alright. And then she will give us a quest for the Leia's petals. So we will need to get a Leia petal and give it to her. And I believe that will be the conclusion for this quest line. Let's see. Nope. Correction, there are just two more after that. The final one being repeatable. Basically, the Leia petals that we get out in the open world from hunting monsters, fishing, and any other content that we're doing, you can exchange to get a fairy. So what we'll need to do is now go basically do a bit of grinding, hopefully get a petal drop soon, and then we'll just come back here and get this quest finished up. So we'll go ahead and get that squared away. And just as a reminder, if you're questing or adventuring up to this point, just to keep one of the petals in your inventory, that way you can come back through this quest and get it knocked out in one go. But I will catch up with y'all after we've completed this quest line, and basically what will happen is we will collect our reward from our season pass, get the time stone, or the frozen tide stone, and we will go ahead and pen our talisman, which should give us another 2 AP, so we'll be up to 178 for our main hand, and we will go from there. Alright, so just a short add-on to the petal quest. If you don't happen to have any petals like I didn't have, then if you haven't bought them yet, you can actually go into your loyalty store and they'll be right up here at the top for 100 loyalty. I went ahead and purchased them, so you'll see them down here at the very bottom. You can get 2 petals for 100 loyalties, and then we can just go ahead and talk with Bea and complete this quest. So just hand it over, that'll be done, and then she'll give us the mysterious companion. And then prepare to summon the fairy using Comsto's power, so just come over here. And now we have the sealed fairy wings. And then to activate it, you have the sealed wings in your inventory. It's basically just RNG box. What you want to go for is the Radiant Fairy. Those are the fairies that will have the highest levels that they can go up to, which will be level 50 now after the recent update. So we'll just go ahead and open one and roll. And we got Faint Fairy. So it's a start. We can keep trying to get more petals. It can only learn up to 2 skills. So what we'll do is we'll just save up our petals, come back here, and keep rolling until we can get a Radiant Fairy, and then we'll start leveling up a Fairy Companion. But until then, we're just going to keep focusing on what we're doing. Go ahead and we will collect our reward to pen this talisman, and then get back to the grind. So, we've just finished the Medaya storyline, and with that, we are now able to keep collecting our leveling it reward box up until we hit level 61. So right now we've got a good bit of materials, and what we're doing now is, now that we have penned all of our weapons, we're actually going to go ahead and start working on enhancing our armors. And just as a little aside, something that's been going on while working on the Medaya story quests, this is something that I recommend. There's going to be a couple areas you go through, primarily the Abandoned Iron Mine, you will have a regional quest that you can do here for an enhanced Asula accessory, as well as one here in Wandering Rogue's Den. I definitely recommend getting them, the ring and the necklace in particular, as this will definitely give you a big boost in AP, as well as some extra DP. And same goes for the ring, since we really didn't go out of our way to enhance the Naru accessories. We kind of stuck to just enhancing our weapons, since that was more than enough AP to push us forward. So with that said, we've already got some extra stacks sitting here from what we've unlocked from the Black Spirits level rewards and what we've been getting from the boxes. So what we're going to do now at this point is we're just going to do some enhancing, and I'm going to be trying to see if I can pen or push some of these items close to pen. That way we can just be one step closer to finishing up our full pen seasonal and then focusing on accessories. But at this point, since we have completed the main story up into Medaya, we don't really have to go any further. Pushing it any further, we can get some extra rewards, which we will eventually do on this character. But right now, the goal is to focus more on just the grind aspect of the game. So from here, we're actually going to be going to the Pilaku jail. Our AP is a little bit low for that. However, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our artifacts. We've actually purchased some light stones to use. Should be right here. We're going to be using a simple lightstone combination that just gives us all AP bonus. So we're just stacking AP since it applies universally. It's not going to be monster damage specifically for monsters, but this is just extra AP so that we can grind that area better. We have gotten the 2 artifacts that we get from the Black Spirit from the quest rewards, which I recommend taking both of those. One will give you extra monster AP, one will give you extra monster damage reduction. And finding a cheap lightstone combination, I'd recommend using the combination that I will be using, which is the 4 lightstone rage fire. These lightstones are super cheap at about a little over 5 mil a piece, so you're looking at just over 20 million silver investment to get yourself a nice boost in hidden AP to help you on your grind. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and start enhancing and seeing where we end up. So we'll go ahead and start with these gloves that we've already tried. Alright, and what you see right here, this is the Nader's Band. The Nader's Band allows you to store fail stacks as you enhance your gear. So now that we have a 50 stack here, we'll just save that for trying to push Tet on another piece of gear. So what we'll do now is probably try to push Try on the helmet or the boots. That way we can turn those quests in. So we will use a 20 stack. Alright, and then we will try the boots now. A bit high on the success rate. Okay, that failed, so now we're going to try and go for Tet on the helmet. Nope. So, since we don't have another spot to put this in the Nader's Band, what we're going to do now is just try and push this back up to Try. It's a little high on the fail stack side, but the goal really here is to just try and push this gear as quickly as we can. The more armor that we have, the faster we can hit some of the higher grind spots and start making a bit more silver for our seasonal character. Okay, that failed. And alright, so now what we will do, since all those failed, what we're going to do is go ahead and run up to the blacksmith, and we're going to get ourselves a blacksmith secret book and go ahead and pull this fail stack off. And go ahead and start with another fail stack and then start pushing up. Or what we'll actually do is we're going to use our Tuvala ore and the stabilized stones right here. These stabilized stones allow us to go ahead and push gear up to Try guaranteed. However, it does cost a set amount of the durability for the gear. So as you can see, it requires 15 stones to push for Duo and 20 to push for Try. But as I'll go ahead and just show you, doing so will cost a chunk of durability. So we have 70 here. So if we enhance that, that cost us 20 durability. And then if we push it again, that cost us another 20 durability. So now we can no longer use those stones. We have to use these. So we have 37, so at 32.9% to try and push for Tet. And there we have our Tet armor. All right. That is really good. So we will need to go ahead and get the quest from Fugar for that. So now what we'll do is, since we're already here, we'll just keep kind of pushing these gear pieces up a little more. So we'll start with a smaller stack. We have 15 that we'll use. Puts us at 50%. Let's go ahead and we'll use a 10 stack here. All right, and another 10 stack here. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we'll try and push for the try. Going a little high at 45% on these 20s. Okay. Now we push for the helm. And we get the helm. Now we go back here to the 10. Alright. And then the 20. There we go. So now we'll go ahead and equip all of these. Let's go ahead and run back down to Fugar. And we will go ahead and collect our stacks for this. And we're also going to go ahead and grab the quests for the pen attempts when you make tech gear. So hopefully we might be able to get at least 1 or 2 armors penned. We're getting a little on the low end here, but since we're gaining so much DP, we could actually go over to the Mary Cave grind spot and start grinding out the seasonal materials there. Just trying to make sure we grab all the quests here. Alright. And we've already grabbed all the ones for the weapons since those have already been penned. So now we'll go ahead and grab this. We'll go ahead and collect this one. Let's go ahead and take these off. And we're just going to keep trying to push more of these up to TED. So if we use this 50 stack, that's a 42% chance. So that failed. So now we'll try this one. Alright, we got TED shoes. Alright, so let's use a 25 stack. We'll try and push this back up to try. Alright, got it. Let's see here. Could use the 40 stacks to push these up to 10. Nope. Let's try for this. Alright, got the helmet. So, now we'll throw that on. Alright, so now we're 3 out of 4 for Tets. So, let's see about pushing for pen. So let's go ahead and pop a 60 stack. No. Try this. Alright, 1 pen done. So, we'll equip that now. Okay, let's see if we can try and push this up. Very good. Now we'll use another. It's a bit on the low end. What does that give? Yeah. We'll just put a couple of these in here. Just to make myself feel better. No. Can we push this up to 10? No. It's at 35 though. So let's see here. We do have a 60 stack and a TED helmet. I'm a bit hesitant on that. Actually, here's what we will do. We will repair what we have, and we will use the stabilized stones to go ahead and push up the enhancement level again, and then we will try and tap for Tet on the 35 stack for both pieces. If I have enough. I've only got enough to do one of them. Okay. Well, that's good. We've conserved our ore, which is good because we're going to need plenty of ore for when we start tapping our accessories. So,
What is it?
Let's...
What are you looking for? People will start getting suspicious if you wander around.
Let's go ahead and repair these. Probably try and push for the armor. Armor would be more important to get to pen since it gives more defense value. Alright, so then let's
There is no such thing as property.
Go ahead and put those on. Let's pull up our enhancement menu. Alright, so stabilized stones. Alright. What do we have for 35? 31. Alright. Very nice. Straight to pen. Can we get it, though? Alright. Let's try. Oh, unfortunately, no. That is a no-go. Let's try on the helm. Nope. Alright, let's try and sit on a 40. Oh, no, we don't have any more stones. Alright. So I've got a 40 stack ready for when we do get some more stacks, which is fine. We are currently sitting at now 268 DP, which is more than enough to tackle the areas that we're going to be heading up to next. But what we're going to do now is just grind out 58 to 60 over at Peliku. And the reason why we're just going to grind that out is because at 59 and 60, we will get 2 more accessories. You can see, should be under events, goals. So right here at 59, we'll get a pen ring, which will give us another 6 AP. And then we will get an earring, which will give us another 6 AP as well. It's just comparing it to the 2 volley gear that's already on there. So this is 8. So actually be 7 AP. So when we get this ring, that'll push us up to 200 even. And then this right here is 5, so we'll get even more AP. So we'll be close to 210 AP once we get those 2 accessories. So that's good. That's definitely something to look forward to. We could go ahead and attempt on a necklace to go ahead and replace this. We have duo everywhere else. So I'll tell you what, since we're already here, let's go ahead and attempt on a necklace. So we will need 3 of these. So I recommend when doing the first few enhancement levels on your accessories to not even use fail stacks with them. Alright, yeah, we're going to have to pull this 40 stack off. So let's get this Blacksmith Secrets book.
Whoever gets it first is the owner.
And to use these, you just simply pull up your enhancement menu, go over to Extract, select Blacksmith Secret Book, click on this book. These books, basically the number that you see here, the Blacksmith Secret Book 40, it can extract a enhancement chance of 40 and lower. And they sell up to plus 50. So we can extract this, and it just puts it in our inventory as a 40 stack, which you can see right here. We now have 2 of those. So what we'll do here is swing 70% and then 55 for the duo, just like that. And then we can even go for try, which is 45%, which we may just go ahead and do. 45% is pretty good odds.
What are you looking for? People will start getting suspicious if you wander around.
And that will give us plenty of AP for Peliku. No, there it goes.
It's best not to show that you're an adventurer.
We will do
It's easy to get into trouble in Alta Nova.
one more go of that, just to get our duo back. Oh.
Life is luck. There is no such thing as property. Whoever gets it first is the owner.
Alright.
What is it? What are you looking for? People will start getting suspicious.
What are you sitting at for ores? Oh, this will be the only shot. We gotta get this one shot. Let's go. Oh, I have enough for try actually. Nope. Alright, and we'll have that necklace there. Alright, and we'll toss those away. Alright, so that. Alrighty. Well, it just happens like that. The most important thing you can ever remember when it comes to enhancing is to just understand that things like that happen. So, sometimes you're going to get really good swings. I mean, we had several pen attempts and we're already up 4 pen out of 7 for our armor set. So, overall, losing out on the accessories, it is what it is, but honestly, we're still on a very, very, very good track record right now for our progression. You know, we're only sitting on 18 hours playtime right now, and we are really killing it right now. We're sitting at midways through 400. So now we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next part and grind out the next couple levels. And with that, I will go ahead and end this section of the video. So just like to say appreciate y'all watching and taking your time to watch this progression as we move through a new account and trying to give some direction to newer players coming into the game. I will say what I've learned definitely from this part of playing on the new account for anybody who is wanting to push forward. Go ahead and work on the story quest all the way up to Medaya. It will save you a lot of headache in the long run. And don't sweat too much about having a horse, as you will experience that going through a lot of these quests, you will get a speed buff that makes it a lot easier for you to run from location to location. So just focus on that, and you will fly through a lot of this stuff very quickly. But also make sure to do some of the regional quests that pop up as you move through Medaya, and it will help you a lot with getting some free gear score, but also helping you with that progression going forward. But with that said, I'm going to end it here, and once again say thank you for watching. Be sure to comment, like, sub. Feel free to leave any tips that'll help going forward, and with that, I will see you all in the next one.